All right, let's look at the Buffalo Bills this week as they head into Week 15. They're sitting at the top of the AFC East, but they've got their eyes on that number one seed in the conference. Currently belongs to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, it's a tight race. This week's matchup against the Detroit Lions is crucial for the Bills.
A game with major playoff implications. Speaking of implications, the Bills are getting some reinforcements on offense. Both wide receiver Keon Coleman and tight end Dalton Kincaid are expected back after missing several games.
That's right. Coleman's been out 4 weeks with that wrist injury from the Dolphins game in Week 9, and Kincaid has missed the last 3 with a knee injury from the Week 10 win over the Colts.
Their absence has been felt for sure. Coleman's their second leading receiver, and Kincaid quickly emerged as a reliable target for Josh Allen, even as rookie. Having them back will add some serious firepower to the Bills' offense.
Absolutely. Coleman's a big play threat, averaging over 18 yards per reception. His presence opens up the field for the other receivers, creates more opportunities for Allen to take those shots downfield.
And Kincaid's return adds another dimension to their passing attack, particularly in the red zone. He's a big target with good hands. His ability to find those soft spots in coverage makes him a valuable weapon for Allen.
It'll be interesting to see how Kincaid's emergence might influence the Bills' offensive strategy going forward. Before his injury, we saw him taking on a larger role, even eclipsing Dawson Knox as the leading receiver at the tight end position.
Definitely something to watch. With both Coleman and Kincaid back in the mix, the Bills' offense has the potential to be truly explosive. But the Lions, despite their ups and downs this season, they've shown they can put points on the board. They're not going to roll over for the Bills.
You're right. The Lions have a potent offense. Led by Jared Goff, who's having a bit of a resurgence this year, their receiving core with players like Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jamison Williams, they can create headaches for opposing defenses.
For sure. The Lions have a balanced attack, can attack you in multiple ways, but the Bills' defense has been consistently solid this season. They're giving up less than 18 points per game, which ranks them among the best in the league.
They've been a stingy unit. But the Lions' offense is a real test for them. Be fascinating to see how the Bills' secondary handles the Lions' receivers, especially with Williams' speed and St. Brown's knack for finding open space.
That matchup between the Bills' secondary and the Lions' receivers is definitely one of the key battles to watch in this game. And of course, there's the always entertaining duel between Josh Allen and Jared Goff. Two quarterbacks with very different styles, both capable of putting up big numbers.
Speaking of Allen, he's been playing at an MVP level for much of the season. Even without Coleman and Kincaid, he's managed to keep the Bills' offense humming. His ability to extend plays and make things happen outside the pocket makes him one of the most dynamic quarterbacks in the league.
And with the return of his two key weapons, Allen has the potential to be even more dangerous. Imagine the pressure on a defense, trying to cover Diggs, Davis, Coleman, and D. Kincaid. That's a lot of talent to account for.
It's a matchup nightmare for any defense. The Bills have the potential to be an offensive juggernaut. But it's important to remember the Lions aren't just going to stand there and let it happen. They've got a lot of pride. They've shown they can be competitive against tough opponents.
That's right. The Lions have shown they can play with anyone, coming off a big win against the Packers last week. So they'll be riding high coming into this game. They'll definitely be looking to pull off the upset.
This game has the potential to be a real shootout. Two high-powered offenses. Some intriguing matchups on both sides of the ball. Could be a wild one.
I think so, too. It's going to be a game you don't want to miss, especially with the playoff implications on the line for both teams.
Absolutely. This matchup is one to circle on your calendar. It'll be a real test for both the Bills and the Lions. Could have a major impact on the AFC playoff race.
You bring up playoff implications. This game really has a lot of meaning for both teams. The Bills, we know, are fighting for that top seed, while the Lions are trying to secure a wild card spot. What do you think a win here would mean for each team's playoff hopes?
I think for the Bills, a win would be huge. A huge step towards securing home field advantage throughout the AFC playoffs. Gives them that crucial head-to-head win over a potential wildcard contender. The Lions, on the other hand, a win over a powerhouse like the Bills would be a real statement victory. Proves that they belong in that playoff conversation. Gives them a much-needed boost in the standings.
The Bills are, of course, the favorites in this matchup, but the Lions have proven that they can't be overlooked. Pulled off some impressive upsets this season. Do you see them as a legitimate threat to the Bills?
The Lions are a team that can give the Bills a run for their money. Their offense, like we talked about, can put up points. And their defense has shown flashes of brilliance. I think they're a team that can't be taken lightly.
I'm curious to see how the Lions' defense will approach Josh Allen. He's such a unique talent. Can hurt you in so many ways, Will they try to contain him with pressure? Or will they focus on taking away his passing options?
It's a great question. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of defensive game plan the Lions come up with. I think they'll try to mix things up, bring pressure at times, drop back into coverage at others. The key, I think, for the Lions will be to disguise their intentions, make Allen uncomfortable in the pocket.
On the other side of the ball, the Bills' defense. They'll be tasked with slowing down Jared Goff and the Lions' offense. What are some of the key matchups you'll be watching?
I think one matchup to watch is the Bills' secondary against the Lions' receivers. Amon-Ra St. Brown is one of the most consistent receivers in the league. Jamison Williams has the speed to take the top off any defense. Bills are going to need to be disciplined in their coverage, avoid giving up those big plays.
Another key matchup will be the Bills' defensive line against the Lions' offensive line. The Lions have struggled to protect Goff at times this season, and the Bills have a really talented group of pass rushers. If the Bills can generate pressure on Goff, it could be a long day for the Lions' offense.
The trenches are always a key battleground in football. This game will be no different. Whoever wins that battle up front will have a big advantage.
So much of this game hinges on the performance of the quarterbacks. Josh Allen for the Bills and Jared Goff for the Lions. How do you see these two quarterbacks matching up against each other?
I think it's a really intriguing matchup between two quarterbacks with very different styles. Allen is the more dynamic and explosive player. Goff is the more traditional pocket passer. But both quarterbacks are capable of putting up big numbers, leading their teams to victory.
Allen has that stronger arm and that ability to extend plays with his legs, while Goff is more accurate and has a better understanding of how to read defenses.
It's a classic clash of styles. It'll be fascinating to see who comes out on top.
Another factor to consider in this matchup is the coaching. Sean McDermott for the Bills, Dan Campbell for the Lions. Both coaches have done a great job with their respective teams. How do you see their coaching styles influencing this game?
McDermott is known for his attention to detail and his ability to get his players to buy into his system. Campbell is a more fiery and emotional coach, really inspires his players with his passion.
McDermott's teams are typically very well prepared and disciplined. Campbell's teams are known for their toughness and their never-give-up attitude.
Another interesting contrast in styles, it'll be interesting to see how those two coaches approach this game.
This matchup between the Bills and the Lions has all the makings of a classic. Two talented teams with high-powered offenses and intriguing storylines. What's your prediction for this game?
It's a tough one to call, but I think I'm going to give the edge to the Bills. They're the more talented team on paper, and they have the advantage of playing at home.
I'm inclined to agree. The Bills are the favorites for a reason. But the Lions are a dangerous team. They could certainly pull off the upset if the Bills aren't careful.
This is a game that could go down to the wire. Can't wait to see how it unfolds.
This isn't either. It's going to be a great game to watch. It could have major implications for the AFC playoff race.
Absolutely. This is a game you don't want to miss.
This is going to be a fascinating game with a lot on the line for both teams. But let's step back for a moment and look at the bigger picture. What are your thoughts on the Bills' overall chances this season?
I think the Bills are legitimate Super Bowl contenders. They have all the pieces you need. Talented roster, strong coaching staff, and a proven quarterback in Josh Allen.
They've been to the playoffs 4 years in a row now, reached the AFC Championship game twice in that span. Do you think this is the year they can finally get over the hump?
I think so. They've learned a lot from those past playoff experiences, and they're hungry for that Super Bowl title.
The Bills seem to have all the pieces in place, but the playoffs are a different animal. What are some of the key challenges they'll need to overcome if they want to make a deep run?
Well, I think one challenge is staying healthy. As we mentioned, they've been dealing with some key injuries. Keeping their core players on the field will be crucial for their success.
Another challenge is going to be navigating the tough competition in the AFC. The Chiefs, Bengals, Ravens, all formidable opponents. The Bills will need to be at their best to beat any of those teams.
The AFC is stacked with talent this year. It's going to be a battle to the finish.
But the Bills have proven they can compete with the best. They'll be a tough out for any team in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how it all plays out. It's shaping up to be a very exciting postseason.
Me too. I think the Bills have a real chance to win it all.
They're a team to be reckoned with, for sure.
No doubt about it. So to wrap things up, the Bills are in a strong position heading into Week 15. Their offense is getting healthier. They're facing a crucial matchup against the Lions.
A win over the Lions would be a big step towards securing that top seed in the AFC, and it would send a message to the rest of the league. that the Bills are a serious contender.
We'll be watching closely to see how it all unfolds, and we'll be back next week to break down all the action.
Until then, keep those TVs tuned and your snacks ready.
Goodbye, and see you in the next video.